Dobro Bozolovitz. Hopefully that means welcome, because I googled it and had to repeat it to myself multiple times. Because I don't remember how to pronounce things correctly. Anyway, welcome to Everlasting Summer. Another visual novel, of course. I'm Two-Faced Teller, or V if you will. There are two versions of this game. One is the 18+, and then there's this one, which is from Steam. From what I remember, this is about a dude, like, reverting to high school age or something. High school, quote, age. He gets younger. They're supposed to be 18. He gets younger. And ends up in No, I think he is Russian, and he ends up in, like, this camp or something. I'll just read under the description of new game. Dear Pioneer, you are on the verge of wondrous discoveries. The doors of the most wonderful place in the world, our favorite camp, Solvanok, have opened before you. You'll remember this session for the rest of your life. Welcome. Will I really? Will I? I'm gonna be honest, I wanted this cursor not there, but it's there, so gonna have to deal with that. I was having that dream again. That dream. Same thing every night. It's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain, of gates half opened as if inviting me somewhere, with two frozen stone pioneers standing close by. And also that strange girl who keeps asking me. Will you come with me? Come? But where? And why? Where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would certainly have been scared. Well, what else would one expect to feel? But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something's really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as things in my own flat. I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand. Don't do that. Inhale the rust. Inhale the fresh, cool air and shiver from the cold. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I can understand that, but what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here it's just on the other side of the cracked screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture's getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something. The girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I was called a tittle, but the dot over a J was called a superscript dot. Nice letters. Bro, I'm gonna need you to ask about the gate, please? As if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because even if I'm having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyways, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see the Magellanic clouds? I was about to say, I don't see no clouds, and then I see them behind the gate. No, is that mountains? I don't even know anymore. Come on, man. We need to get something going. And not stare at things. As if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are the small things that catch your attention. An unnatural color of grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection. While the real danger, which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems trivial. It's natural, since here you cannot die. I don't know about that. I know it for sure. I've done it hundreds of times. Die? Oh. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? I should ask the girl. Well, you've been saying you're gonna ask the girl something, but you haven't done it yet. She's a local. She should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. Bro, I'm gonna need you to stop. When strange bird... It is. Though it doesn't matter. Owls aren't even that strange. What are you talking about? Will you come with me? And every time I have to answer. It's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end and I will never wake up. No, I'm gonna stay here. Every time it's so hard to decide on the answer. No, it's not. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? All I have are questions upon questions upon questions. And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't. It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. Credits roll. Bro, what are you looking at? The computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. I guess. Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer. I think you're thinking too much into it. As if in our relationship the screen wasn't an instrument, it was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textile, or whatever that is. There's some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world, so you don't go outside. Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time, rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. Sad boys sad. People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist. Only I exist. I am the center of this universe. All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug, which started living a life of its own. Okay, buddy, I'm gonna need you to step back from the computer, come with me into the kitchen, have a drink of water. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy, and a psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnosis, and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin. No. Let's go outside. Let's breathe in some fresh air. A small apartment with no signs of repair or any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the gray megalopolis. There's a lot of words that are hitting me that I haven't been able to pronounce correctly. Shame. Shame on me. Running somewhere day and night, such are the conditions of my life. Well, of course it didn't all start like this. I forgot to sync up the video. I just realized now. It's too late. I'll do it next time. Whoops. Well, of course it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school, and finished it like all the others. I was accepted at a university where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. No wonder I'm very sad. Sometimes it was working out quite well, sometimes I was getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. It was looping over and over in monotonous circles. I'm kind of glad that I didn't choose to do my really crappy Nico Bellic impersonation. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself the same vicious spiral. A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. Cry. Yeah, I should have realized this was going to be a sad boy time. For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs, sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder, really, since my needs are quite minor. I rarely ever leave my home, and no wonder it's looping and monotonous, because you don't leave your fucking house, God. And my communication with other people almost exclusively consisted of online correspondence with anonymous, who have no real name, no gender, no age. So in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of his time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale without doomsday-related visions. Maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me, and it'll become a contemporary classic of modern literature. Or I'll write one myself. Why don't you just go outside? Take a walk. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times, but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw. Programming got boring. Foreign languages takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but still I never would have called myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and a grandmaster of lame internet jokes. If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person and a richer person too, but I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. Is this because I didn't say yes? Are you torturing me because I didn't say yes? Today was another typical day of a typical failure's typical life. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion. That car making me confused. Is it coming from the game? Is it coming from real life? I'll never know. Frankly speaking, I really didn't want to. What's the point? The time I spent with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of the few with whom I kept in touch, other than through the internet. Do something together. You're just making yourself sad, bro. Did you just jump? Did you just because I said no? Or are you walking? I don't know what's going on. I'm quite enjoying these. Grazie cheese. A frosty evening. Bus stop, waiting. I never like winter. The hot summer's not my season either. I'd prefer winter over hot summer, thanks. I'm not enjoying the heat right now, so, you know. It's just that I see no reason to point out any particular time of the year. It doesn't matter much what the weather is outside when you stay at home 24/7. Go outside. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundred rubles for a taxi. The idea of just returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. Such a thought that would bring into existence, give a shape, turn into an idea, and put into practice. Maybe I could start my own business. But where would I get the money from? Or maybe I could go back to working in an office. No way. Maybe I should try freelancing. But what skills do I have and who would want me after all? It's thoughts like that that's really not getting you anywhere, bro. Gotta be a little more positive. I suddenly remembered my childhood. Or rather, my teen years, the time when I was 15, 17 years old. Why exactly those years? No idea. Why exactly anything? Literally everything you think about. Why do I think of these thoughts? I guess it's because back then everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I always eagerly looked forward to the weekend. Then I could get some rest and have time for the things I liked, computer, football, going out with friends. And then at the beginning of next week, I'd take up my studies again. Back then, there were no such worrying questions like why, who needs it, what will change if I do it, or what will not change. And simple lifestyle, a simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person and so odd to myself today. That careless childhood age. It was also then that I met my first love. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, the desire to care for her and to protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation. What on earth to discuss and how to attract her? Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time. But where could I meet one anyway? Make friends. The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. The bus is on fire. Streetlights passed me by. It's as if their cold light sparks inside of me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken them. Because those feelings, they have been living in me for a long time, slumbering and waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars passing by through the fogged-up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little worlds. Why would they care about mine? They probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure since all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you will only see impenetrable darkness. God, so pessimistic. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched this light show and somehow got terribly sleepy. My eyes closed just for a moment, and then bright daylight struck my eyes. At first I didn't pay attention, as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Is that his name? Suddenly a name. I'm not in my thoughts anymore. Damn, it looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there was no door. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn... I don't know what that is. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Probably. Have I been kidnapped? No. No, I must be dead. I agree. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back of one of the bus seats. Went absolutely crazy. It's clear. Either I'm still alive, or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot. And then what? Did they put me onto another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked, tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer. But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably, as if I was going to explode. Slowly I began to remember. A long road running off into the distance. Forests, plains, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it? And then, a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She softly whispered something into my ear. Then a gap again. And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calmed me down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And the best place to look for her is away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran in the direction from which the bus had probably came. Finally came. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind. Thoughts become clearer, and it gets a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I'm neither dreaming nor dead. A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. The exact same road from my dream. It must be very far away from home. And it's not just that. It was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer's usually like this, green and hot. But here everything's not entirely lifelike. I touch a plant. It's plastic. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of Russian landscape artists of the 19th century. The grass is just too lush. The bushes, are not like what bushes should be. They're so thick that you can't see anything through them, like treetops, honestly. And the trees themselves. The forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance onto the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. I had to walk back. That was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have power lines even in hell? Roasting sinners over hot coals, that's so last century. I must have reached a point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally turn to understand what is going on. Why don't you just go the other way? You searched one side. One side! And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course it was scary. But I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or the woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. I should carefully scout the area. Soyanok means outlet. A brick wall indicates crowned with a Sovianok? I don't know, I'm not Russian. Signs. Statues of pioneers standing on either side and a road sign nearby showing the bus route number 410. The trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. I'm still very tempted to use my crappy Nico Bellic. Every time he just says something out loud, that's all I want to hear. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sovianok. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. My microphone's like super in the way, so. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna punch you in the face. The strange girl, the altered bus, summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly, from alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from a hallucination to a time and space shift. None was worse than any other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me, I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contact list. But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such a remote place. I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. This bus does. I'm the bus driver. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dirt on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. I thought it was brand new. Yeah, exactly. The kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. I gave a nervous chuckle. It came up by itself, sporadically. But this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. Now is a good time to cry, actually. Where on earth is the driver? I had to go use the bathroom, sorry. I cautiously sat down on the curb beside the bus and started to wait. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak and I started to go slightly mad. I'm sorry, I had to use the bathroom. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. Alien and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, only leaving void and darkness. You haven't even searched. You walked up to the gate and you stopped. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There were so many things that I had no time for yet. I was overwhelmed by the idea this was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping and just lay quietly, sobbing occasionally. I, the bus driver, step out, and I'm just like, are you okay? You okay there, bud? After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, as if terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Yeah, maybe you'd find answers if you just went through the gate, buddy. You didn't even try. Anyway, for now it seems there's no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples, and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there's nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it would only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there's really no point in making a guess. In any case, I won't learn anything by lounging about here. This camp, if, of course, it really is a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there, and hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them. Is it Hatsune Miku? Damn it. Wearing a pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century. And then again, a girl here. I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place. from this bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Are you scared of girls? Just running free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies. It's 'cause you keep running away from things. Or not getting anywhere. Running, becoming a pulsar ray, turning into vestigial radiation, running to face the unknown. Run no matter where, as long as it... What is that? The heck? That's weird. I don't know why that's like that. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts work independent of consciousness, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life, and in particular, ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. I desperately wanted to get less complicated, and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia. Though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid out of place, as if taken from internal monologue of the hero of some junky, soft-covered crime fiction book. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that look like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Hi, you must have just arrived. Be rude. Don't reply. Be nice and reply, please. Yeah. Alright then, welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange, it looked as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Ugh, I should have returned here. The woods and fields seem better. Are you scared of girls? But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? Just be nice. Jesus. The blood was pumping unbearably in my head. No wonder you can't find a girl. Tearing it apart from the inside, a little bit more and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. What's so funny about that? I immediately lost her voice. That's okay, though. Figure it out eventually. The girl looked me over. I sent shivers down my spine and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great then. Great? What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget about the bus behind me, the fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today. I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be, all this for the best. Would you happen to know... You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look. You go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed at the gates as if I knew what was behind them. Oh God. The words just get longer. Dimitrev... Wait, no. Dimitrevna? I don't know. This is a patronymic, a derivative of a person's father's name. In this case, Dmitri. Put by Russians after the person's first name as a sign of respect or formal address. Well, you can ask someone where Olga Dimitrina cabin is. Stop it! Got it? Of course I didn't. Well, I've got to go now. The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. You couldn't just show me where? You come out here and you don't show me where? It seemed as if to her I was something ordinary. In all this show with the bus and the travel while awake or asleep, were troubling only me, while everything here is just the way it's supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer uniform. What are they doing? A historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lennon standing atop an armored car in this square. No, whatever. Whatever. Just gonna breeze by. But even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, I headed into camp. A mere 50 meters ahead, a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign near the door said clubs. I was about to come closer, when the door suddenly opened and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole mankind with a truly universal sorrow. I don't know, she just looked angry. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do. To approach first or wait until she showed some initiative. Or maybe run away after all. Although this last option was constantly being suggested only by my self-preservation instinct. At least, that's what I'd like to believe. Not the worst human instinct, but far from the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. Suddenly somebody jumped out of nearby bushes. A girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. Such a perfect reproduction of the age. The Russian language is so interesting. Simply because of their, excuse me, is that Miku? How am I supposed to get my thoughts to go through if this is what I get? Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance and was probably younger than both pioneer girls, the one at the gates and this girl at the door of the clubs. At last I decided to come closer, but the USSR, as I called her in my mind, jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something, while wildly waving her arms. The other girl in turn seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I turned on my heel and left. I would have probably continued to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face. Oh god. This is kind of jarring. This something turned out to be a grasshopper. Scream. The first girl squealed. She must not be too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off towards the place where Lennon presumably made his speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. That is to say, towards the square. The USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. I'm gonna have to turn, the music stuff down. Again. The USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am besides that there's some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seemed to be so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that in fact my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? Thank God you didn't have to talk to those girls, because I was not ready. Not ready to pick and choose what the heck they're supposed to sound like. I was picking at the cracked paving stones with my shoe and staring aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass weeping. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all energy for whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop right now. Because you're overthinking, and once again, I'm gonna leave the bathroom, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Mine seemed to have chosen the second option because out of the blue I found the determination to figure out what was going on. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they looked quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the young October children. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks, wake-up call at 6 o'clock played by a siren, 1 minute to make your bed, then joining the formation at the drill square. Or wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Suddenly something struck me in the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight heroically for my life. Jesus Christ, lady! But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your jaw off the ground. I closed my mouth. I'll think of their voices later. Right now, I just need to figure stuff out. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked, let's say, provocative. Is not that bad. Like all the girls I had met here before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. It doesn't look arrogant, it just looks like she's mad, just like the other one. New here, are you? Fine, see ya. She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. She was threatening up until this point. Bro, you just got owned by a girl. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. Just got owned by a strange lady. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She didn't give off the feeling of some deadly danger. Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. That's what I want to do. To you. Just get on with it. At last I managed to make it to the square. There was no Lenin on an armored car, although one could easily expect something like that after all this had happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square, the letters on the pedestal reading Genda. Must be some big figure in the party. There were some small benches on the sides. It looks like he's face-palming. It's quite pleasant here. Where did the girl tell me to go? I don't know. I already lost track. To go to the left or to the right? To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Why am I going there anyway? Oh, right. I've decided to pretend to be normal. So to the right. I thought it was the left. Whatever. You do you. There's a small grove. I came out at a pier. I must have taken a wrong turn. Wrong way. I don't know who it is. I turned towards the voice. Oh, what? Hey, wrong way. That first girl stood before me. Now, what did I tell you? Take the left at the square, wasn't it? Oh, I was right. See, you should listen to me. I might not be paying attention like majority of the time, but I sometimes get directions right. She had changed from her pioneer uniform into a bikini. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Slavia. Slavia? Is that Ulyana? I don't know. Whatever. Actually, my full name's Ulyana, but everyone calls me Slavia. I'm gonna call you Nana. It'd be different. So you can too. No thanks. Yeah. I still felt a bit confused, so I could not come up with more meaningful answers. And what's your name? I felt like she could see right through me. Yeah. Simon. Is it Simon? God, you guys keep hitting me with things that I don't know how to pronounce. Trying to make me look like a fool. Nice to meet you. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change and we'll go to Olga Dmitrievna together. Agreed? Could have done this earlier. Agreed. After this exchange, she ran off. I sat on the pier and let my feet hang into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather there was nothing wrong in getting my feet wet. Furthermore, let me cool myself a little. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that had happened. If this is some kind of conspiracy, it's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks more like a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in the pioneer uniform again. Let's go. I've been here for a very short time, but of all the people I've met, she looks the least suspicious. However, this fact is already suspicious itself. We walked to the square. The USSR girl and the girl who hit me on the back were there chasing each other. Is this some kind of game they're playing? Oh god. Ulyana, enough running. I'll tell everything to Olga Dmitrievna. No. Aye, Captain. I decided not to question Sylvia for a while about what was going on or the local residents. Better meet with this mysterious Olga. I'm just gonna stop there. First. Sounds like she's the boss here. We walked past the rows of almost identical cabins, some of which look like fat beer barrels, while others look more like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stopped in front of the smallish one-story cabin. Ooh, pretty. It looked like an artist's painting, the faded paint chipping here and there with age, the sparkling in the sun. The window shutters, slightly ajar, were swaying almost unnoticeably in the wind, and huge lilac bushes were growing at the sides. It seemed as if this ramshackle hut was drowning in a storm of purple silk, and the lilacs, like some elemental force, were inexorably destroying the troop leader's house. What are you standing around for? Let's go. Flavia snapped me out of my daydreaming. And stop teasing Lena already, someone said. Holy Rena? Whatever. Sounds like there's someone inside. Indeed, a moment later, the door swung open, and Ulyana ran out and dashed past with the same mischievous grin. The pigtailed girl came out next. Don't let it bother you, Lena. Whatever. So her name is Lena. Gotta be thankful it's not Rena, whatever. At least. But I don't. Instead of finishing her sentence, she blushed and quickly headed towards the square. For some reason, I felt like turning and following her with my eyes, but Sylvia said, Slavia, whatever. Oh my god, I'm gonna be very dismissive of everyone's names now. Come. Gonna have to. What is that picture on the left? We entered the cabin. Inside it looked something similar to what I'd imagined. 2 beds, table, couple of chairs, simple carpet, wardrobe. Nothing special. At the same time, it felt homelike and cozy, although the room was almost in the same state of disorder as my own flat. Who's this? A girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. Nature had obviously gifted her with a pretty face and a good body. Dude, every girl that we have passed by you've said was pretty, so... I'm not trusting you anymore. At least one thing can keep you happy in this pandemonium. The locals are beautiful. You're finally here. Excellent. My name is Olga. I'm the camp leader. Nice to meet you, Semyon. I'm gonna end up having to look up the pronunciations of everyone's name except Olga, because that one's easy. I decided to talk as if I wasn't surprised by anything that was going on. She came closer. Lady, your hair's kinda weird. I'm gonna be honest here. I've been expecting you since early morning. You've been expecting me? Yes, of course. And when does the next bus come? And why do you need it? Yeah, right. Why would I need it? Guess I shouldn't ask direct questions. People here may react to them quite unlike how I'd prefer. And I doubt I'd get any answers. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean. I wanted to send a letter to my parents to tell them I got here fine. For some reason I had the desperate idea that if I played along, I'd find something out. Oh, but your parents called just a half an hour ago. Sent their regards to you. Now that's a surprise. So, can I call them? 'Cause I forgot to tell them something before I left. No. She gave me a sweet, spontaneous smile. How's it spontaneous? Why not? We don't have a phone here. Then how could my parents make a call here? I've just come back from the district's central town. I talked with them there. Suspicious. Ah, so that's how it is. Should have kept running. And now can I somehow get to town? No. She kept the same smile. Why not? Because the next bus only comes in a week. I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get no answer anyways. She'd probably lie to me. Everything's a dirty lie. All this time Slavia was standing next to me and seemed to find nothing odd in our conversation. Oh, we need to find a uniform for you. I've got absolutely no desire to put on pioneer shorts or to wear the ridiculous red neckerchief. However, wearing winter clothes in summer isn't a great idea either. Right, thank you. I wonder if I'm the only one here who finds it strange that someone's wearing a coat and winter boots in such heat. Rightio, I'll be off then, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to dinner in the evening. Having said that, she walked out of the cabin. No, walked is not the right word. She rushed out, trying to get away from me. I'll find out your secrets and all about that weird poster you have on your wall. I ended up alone with Slavia. I must go too. Got things to do. Take a walk, look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening. There's no threat or catch to this than this reality. As embodied by Slavia, becomes more and more appealing. For the first time today I realized that it was awfully hot here. Although obviously my winter clothes were to blame for that. I took off my coat and dropped it onto the bed. My pullover followed, and was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. Isn't this Olga's room? Don't just leave your stuff places. All I could do now was follow their advice and go look around the camp. Oh, I just realized there's another weird picture. With a dude with a paper bag over his head. What? I'll try to find something out in the meantime. Passing the local residential district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. And it was really a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men even in this kingdom of Amazons. Hello, you're new here. You must be Simeon, right? And how do you know? Everyone knows already. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm Electronic, by the way. The real one. You can call me that. Electronic was a robot character appearing in popular Soviet film and book series. He looked like an exact copy of a school kid called Sergei Chizkov. Jeez. Electronic, the real one. Things were going from crazy to completely insane. Oh, right. Ulyana also calls me Cheesy. Cheesy? On toast with mushrooms? Why is that a thing? What? Because my last name is Cheeskov. I see. This is awkward. Let me show you around. I accepted his offer, as it would have taken much longer to get to know this place alone. I don't need your help. Fine, let's go. We ended up at the square again, as if this place was all there is to this camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches reading some book. Electronic confidently approached her. Hello, Lena. Meet the new guy, Simeon. He started briskly. Hello. Well, you could say we've met in a way. Yes. She looked away from the book for a moment, glanced at me, blushed, and went back to reading as if not noticing that we were still here. Alright, let's go on. Yeah, that's the voice that's gonna happen. I was at first surprised that meeting this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but then I thought that it was better that way. Electronic's vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. In this here? I know, this is where you consume organic food. What? What? So weirdly specific. Yeah, something like that. On the canteen's porch stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. At the sight of her, my joking mood vanished in a blink of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he's quite hilarious. First I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am. Her? Over there? That's Elisa Devchivsky, whatever. Yeah. Be careful around her. He spoke in a whisper. Do never risk calling your Devchi. She doesn't like that. Why would I call? Means two in Russian. The whole nickname sounds exactly like Chichi in Russian in reference to the late anonymous image word. What did you say? What did you call me? She must have heard him. In the blink of an eye, Alyssa jumped up from the porch and dashed towards us. Alright, you'll manage from here onwards. Electronic took to his heels. I'm not gonna do squat, because he brought that upon himself, and I don't want to get into it with what's-her-face. Alyssa, running past, stopped for a moment and growled. I'll deal with you later. Deal with me? What did I do wrong? I added a forced guilty smile to my words. What am I guilty of? She made no reply and carried on chasing Electronic. Ain't your friend, cheesy man. Survival of the fittest. Looks like I'll have to kill time alone waiting for dinner. I decided to go east. At least in the direction where east would be in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. The game was in full swing there. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself and even thought of going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of uncertain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy of 10 and a girl about 14 years old. Girl. Hey, that's Ulyana. Alright, so she plays football. It's so surprising. She seems a restless one, after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me.
Hey, you.
Ulyana shouted.
Wanna play?
I didn't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be my final one. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I'd sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. He then stripped completely and was like, yeah, let's play some football. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Ulyana's screams about my pants or about me being a pansy or something like that. Rude. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted with no real purpose. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench and gave an exhausted sigh. I better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to the people here, right? They did say don't miss dinner. You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Great people also be affected by this? And in that case, how did Spartacus sit with slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I'm not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanisms I serve as a gear in. Society, the Matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. Those weren't bells. That was like a trumpet or something. It must be the dinner call. I ran as fast as I could to the canteen. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was. Olga was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Simeon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. There's actually people. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's actually people and it's not just ghosts. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with an occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp's supposed to look like. Simeon, wait a moment, we'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Oh, God. Devchiskia, hold it right there. Olga shouted at Alyssa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. I guess in this day and age. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. Alright, alright. Alyssa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. Oh, what? It's not like I tattled on you. Jesus. So where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there next to Ulyana. No! Maybe I... Yeah, that's fine. The food's already on the table, too. I had no other choice but to accept. In common Russian language, cutlet is minced meat, fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder, close to American patties. Compote is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote, whatever, in French. Learning things but also not being able to pronounce anything at all. Of course, there was a probability of the cutlets were poisoned with cure. The mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist.
Hey.
What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Ulyana, who was sitting next to me.
Why didn't you play football with us?
Because of my clothes, said I, pointing at the source of the problem.
Oh, alright then, eat.
Simple child. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from my plate. Only she could have done it. No, more precisely, none but Ulyana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet.
In a big family, you snooze, you lose.
I'll steal all of your food then.
It can cost you a cutlet if you're careless.
Give it back, I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell on you. Give me back my goddamn cutlet. Of course I'm gonna steal my food back. You think I'm not? I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand.
See, I don't have it.
And indeed, Ulyana's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets.
Take it easy, we'll work something out.
She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they would have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Ulyana returned and handed me the plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. Oh my god, is that just all mashed potatoes?
Here's one for the starving.
Thanks. Is all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... No! No! Kill it now! Stab it with the fork and grab it and slice it in half with the knife. I need you to do this immediately. What the? Some bug. It is a centipede. No, not a bug. An insect. It is a centipede. Get it right. You get all this other stuff and then you don't get that. It got legs and it's wiggling. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. I would have screamed, but, like, I gotta deal with bugs all the time, so... I'm not even phased. It's a surprise, and I'm very upset because not only did my food get stolen, there's a centipede in my food. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when those creepy crawlies appear in my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Ulyana seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. I'm gonna throw the centipede at you. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart and I felt I could catch this little girl easy. I will fight you. We ran through the square. Past the clubhouse. And ran into the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Ulyana passed out of sight on the next turn. Can't be true that she managed to get away from me. Simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Did he age down? Or has he just been the same age, just as a grown-ass man this entire time? Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to the camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose at random. I'm gonna stop here. Oh, goodness. He talks a lot about things that he doesn't need to talk so much about. He's very pessimistic, and it's just... I just want to squish his face. Make it stop. Make it stop. I also apologize greatly for the fact that I am very much incapable of pronouncing so many words. It does not help that I'm very unused to pronouncing Russian names. That is just, I don't know what's going on there. And I'm gonna try to remember to look up how to properly pronounce some of this. But I'm definitely gonna be skipping some of the stuff because they are long and it is already difficult to do so. It's like a tongue twister. Anyway, aside from the fact that we had to spend a very good chunk of time listening to the pessimistic thoughts of our dear protagonist, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that I will see you next time to figure out what the heck is going on. I still don't know if he is just a grown-ass man just wandering around this camp, or he did age down. I believe he did. But who knows? Who knows? Current thoughts on the girls. I only liked Slavia. That's it. I do not like the child. You don't go stealing a person's food and then putting a centipede in. What the heck? That's just rude. What if I'm allergic? What if I died? Immediately. You attempted to steal the pork cutlet. Now you're dead. You got bit by a centipede. Sucks. Bye. Have a good day. And have a good night. And try not to think so negatively like this guy. It's very bad for your health. Bye.